Welcome back to Livie's Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel, and I'm your host, Sam the Fabulous. For more ideas, inspiration, swaps, and challenges, click the link in the description below to join our craft community, the Maker Exchange, on Facebook. Welcome back, all of my artists, creatives, crafters, and makers. Welcome back to the Lovely Lab. All right, now, so before I get started, let me just preface this by saying, if you are new to the channel and you are into crafts such as junk journaling, card making, DIYs, a couple hauls here and there, go ahead and click the subscribe button now so that you don't miss any of the crafty uploads, okay? You're not going to want to miss it. And I will not charge you. It is totally free for you to subscribe and become a member of the Lovely community. All right, now, all that being said, and before I move any further, let me say, if you are a member of the Lovely community already, thanks for hanging with me. Thanks for joining me on the journey, and thanks for coming back. Now, I was doing some coffee dyeing yesterday. In the morning time when I get up, I typically will put on a pot of coffee for my husband. I don't typically drink it. From time to time I do. But yesterday, I went to go put on a pot. Yesterday morning I went to go put on a pot, but there was still a pot left, half a pot left from the night before when he came home from work. And I put on half a pot, 6 cups then. So I just thought to myself, now's a great time. We didn't have school yesterday. For me to go ahead and dedicate some time to getting some pages dyed and, adding to my stash, So, the first thing that I did was heat the coffee up, heat the oven up, and I don't air dry my pages. I just don't have that kind of time, and I don't have the space for it. That being said, my process is typically heat the coffee up in the microwave, get out my Pyrex glass pan, soak the pages, pull them out, put them in the pan, pop them in the oven. So I use 2 long cookie sheets, and 1 large round pizza pan, and it has holes in it. Those holes create this type of effect. This is what I get when I use the pan, the pizza pan. So I actually like that because I'm a fan of the polka dots, Plus it just adds a little bit of different variation to, your journals and things like that. So if you have pans that are, have some type of a design in it, or holes or grates and things of that nature, those are the things that help, with when it goes into the oven, it helps with that little singe, or actually where the holes are at, is what gets darker. Anyways, and everybody's oven is different, everybody's pans are different, so you just have to play around with it, but texture does help, create a little bit of variations to your projects. So, moving right along, what prompted me to create this video was, I'm no expert on the coffee dyeing or tea dyeing, none of that. But one thing I wanted to point out, one thing I wanted to share with you was that I noticed that you get a better result with laser ink printing and coffee dyeing versus your standard inkjet. I have an inkjet. I don't have a laser printer. And I think the laser printer heats the ink up, or it's something to that nature. There's some type of heating element in there where it basically bakes the ink in. I'm not 100% sure. That's my thoughts, okay? So I want to see if you can see this. If you notice, this is just on regular paper, and I printed these words. I have a sheet that I typed out some words that I typically use in my journaling and card making. So this is a coffee dye. Now if you notice, the words have become a little bit blurry. Not too bad, but pretty blurry. This is on cardstock, and this is even blurrier. I didn't leave it in there for a long amount of time. But what you notice, sorry, I thought that was my next door, it was my next door neighbor. Anyways, what you notice is that it's a little blurry. Now I want to compare that with this so that you can see. Now this is a sheet of labels by, I think her name is Tincika Designs. That's her shop down there at the bottom, right there. Okay, and it's free. This is her off of her blog, so feel free to download that. Now that is the I'm sorry, I'm just grabbing a. That's the coffee dye version. This is the just straight off the printer version. So as you can see, there's very little differentiation, very little blurring, if any at all. Now the reason I'm pointing this out is because, as you can see here on this cardstock, it's the same paper. It did blur. The difference, in my opinion, is what I did before I added the coffee to this paper. What I did was, and I wanted to just see if it would work, I took a sheet of paper, placed it on top of this paper, the printed, and I took the iron and I ironed over it, hoping that it would do this, act in the same fashion as the laser jet, as you know, heat on the paper with ink. So I'm sure that there is some form of a variation. I'm sure it's a little bit blurred, a little bit of ink loss, but not enough for me to notice, not enough for it to be distorted, not enough for it to be blurry. So I wanted to just share that information with you so that if you have an inkjet like I do, and you're hoping to be able to print off lines, you know, the digitals and freebies and things of that nature, that you could try it as well. Now, I can't say that this is a foolproof type of thing, but it is worth giving it a try because I don't have the money to invest in an inkjet. I have two, in a laser jet. I have two inkjets, one for my son and one for my usage. My son's printer is actually way better than mine. So it's, you know, a couple $100 more, but that's for school. He needs it. Anyways, so I wanted to share that with you, and also share this is what it looks like for color. Now notice the color. Let me see if I can find the original for that. This is what this printed out. When this is printed out, this is something that we used in Sunday school. I had extras. When I printed this out, this is what it looked like. Okay. I submerged it in the coffee dye. The coffee. And I heated this page up with the iron, just like I did that one. And then I went on with the coffee dyeing process. Now, if you notice, the color ink faded, but the black ink stayed. So that's more information for you. Okay? And hopefully that'll help you should you decide to try and coffee dye things that you printed off. If you heat the page up, if you run the iron over it, make sure that you put a piece of paper on top of it so that if there's ink that's coming off of it, it doesn't get stuck on your iron. So add a sheet of paper to your printed paper, iron over it, let it cool, and then go ahead and go through your coffee dyeing process. You too may very well be able to get the same result. So now that's not, it's not a $1,000 money saving tip, but it definitely does help to have these additional alternatives and variations to your projects. So, and then I also wanted to share that. Okay, so I think I've shared with you that this is the devotional that I read each day. It's the In Touch Daily Readings for Devoted Living. It's free, and it's by In Touch Ministries. So you can go to their website, sign up for their devotional. They mail it to you mid-month. When I'm done with that, throughout the month as I'm using it, I just check off the days that I'm using it. But when I'm done with the book, I don't want to just throw it out. I can use it. especially because of the size of the paper that it is. It's 8.5 by 11. It's a little bit smaller than 8.5 by 11. So what does that mean? It means that if you're using A5 size, that I believe that's A5, that it would fit very well inside of a journal. Now, don't get the devotional just for the purpose of coffee dyeing and putting it in the journal. Make sure you get the devotional, use the devotional, read the devotional, meditate on the word, okay? And then when you're done with it, as opposed to throwing it away, here you have a free piece of literature that has biblical references that you can add to your journal or in your crafting projects. Like one of the ones that I saw that I really liked was, there was this one image, I think it's, let me see. Let's see, is it this one? Of course, you think I should have had that ready, right? Here it is. Oh, God, that's not it. Okay, it's this one. Look at this. Isn't that the cutest thing? It says, blessed to be comforted. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to use this entire sheet as it is, but what it does mean is that if once I coffee dye it and it aged it a little bit, it gave it a vintage feel, especially with the colors, that I could take this page, you know, maybe add something else right here, a journaling spot to this part, you know, right here, and drop it on a page. It's basically right there. And then there's, you know, there's different pages that you can use, some with pictures on them, some without, but it's just a different additional resource. And so I coffee dyed my one from February, and I'll probably do March. Or is this March? This might be March. I think this is March. Yeah, because I just finished April. So anyways, and then something else, some of my pages I submerged slightly in the coffee, and there it left the white. So you get, you know, just these are different tips and tricks for those of you who are new to the coffee dyeing process. And then let me show you this. I added fabric. I just wanted to see but the pooling of the coffee between two sheets. So put this sheet down, put the piece of fabric down on top of it, cotton blend. It's a cotton, not cotton blend, because plastic will melt in the oven. And then I put another piece of coffee dye paper down on top of it, and this is the effect that it gave me. And I've ironed all of these sheets once I was done with that. And then lastly, let me show you, well, almost lastly, this I baked, you know, coffee dyed it on the pizza pan, and then I took it out, dropped some coffee on top of it, and that's what gave me this. Put it back in the oven after, and that's what gave me this pooling, this darkening effect. And this just adds a little bit of interest, you know. It's all about interest, giving the eyes something to dance around. This is double baked, so I coffee dyed it, put it in the oven, pulled it out, dipped it back in the water, and brought it back out. So it's twice as dark as the rest of the pages. So this is what it looks like just on one run. Let me move this out the way. One pass through the oven. And this is what it looks like on the second pass. And this is the darker side is the side that is facing up in the oven. You would think it was the side that's facing down. It's not. It's the side that's facing up that gets the darkest. I don't know why. So anyways, I wanted to just share that with you because I didn't get any of these tips. I didn't see. I see a lot of. I've seen videos showing us the process and showing us the results, but I haven't seen a video that showed me different techniques on how to get different variations, because there are so many. I've seen them. I think that they've used plastic lace designed tablecloths, which I would love to have one of those, but I think that requires drying naturally, And I'm not really familiar with that process, and that's something that I would love to try and take a look at. And I think it takes a longer period of time. Nevertheless, that is what I came on to share with you guys, and I hope that helps someone. If any of this information is new to you, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And even if it ain't new to you, if you're still watching, give the video a thumbs up. It's free, and I would appreciate it, and it certainly helps my channel and the algorithm. All right, and so be sure to check on your neighbors. Be sure to check in on your elderly. Guys, stay safe. Wash your hands. Be kind to others. And until we're back here again on YouTube, guys, stay encouraged, stay blessed, stay creative and crafting. Bye for now. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe to join the crafty community, and be sure to click the bell for notifications of new uploads. Thank you so much for watching. Now stay tuned for more from Livie's Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel. Bye for now.